Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey, and today this is the very neutral tone multi-strand pendant necklace that I will be making. Most of the components this time actually came from my own stash. The one thing that I wanted to highlight with this necklace, and the reason I made it, is that beautiful pendant with that designer bail. And that pendant came from GGC's Harvest Garden treasure bag. And I just think that pendant is absolutely beautiful, and I could not pass up the opportunity to use it in a piece. So if you're interested in the treasure bags, I will have all the information in the description box below. I highly encourage you to go check them out, but keep in mind she does not have a monthly subscription, but she does have a notification list. And you definitely want to be signed up to be notified when she releases her treasure bags, because they sell out very quickly. So if you would like to see how this pendant necklace came about, then stay tuned. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the tools that I will be using. I have 2 sets of chain nose pliers, 1 set of cutters, and 1 set of crimping pliers. And I'm going to briefly mention my tool set. It is the Casual Comfort tool set. And as the name suggests, these are the most comfortable tools that I have found. They are very high quality, very well made. And as you can see, they seem to be made just a little bit larger. A lot of times, for whatever reason, jewelry making tools will be a little bit smaller, like this right here. You see the handles are a little bit smaller as well. And honestly, at this point, I just can't see myself using anything else. So I will have this set linked down below, along with everything else I use in the video that did not come from the treasure bag. I will also be using 49 strand bead along wire in the color Bright, and that is this silver color. And I always get the 100 feet just because I go through it so quickly. I will also link below the opening video I did from the treasure bag, and it will give a detailed description of everything that came from it. One of the big things for this one I'm highlighting is this pendant. I really couldn't pass up the opportunity of using this beautiful, beautiful pendant. And of course the bail that came with it that has that design on it. Now, a lot of these beads, these gemstone beads, are beads that came from my stash. If you'll remember the last video I did for the treasure bag, I made, honestly, I forget at this point, it was like 15 or 16 multi-strand bracelets using this treasure bag. So I went through quite a bit of the beads, and I'll have that video linked down below as well. So there was a lot of things that I did not have left over, but again, I couldn't pass up this pendant. It's so beautiful. So I pulled some of these gemstone beads from my stash, along with the 6mm pearls and the 4mm pearls. And of course, all the jump rings and findings. This chain came from the treasure bag. I am also using these flower bead caps, along with these larger flower bead caps. And I have already cut off a piece of wire. It is just over 12 inches. And here's how I start each strand. I'm going to put on a crimp tube. I'm going to put on a crimp tube, a jump ring, and a wire guardian. I'm going to put it through one side, wrap it around, go through the other side. And you want to make sure that jump ring is up in that wire guardian, and I'm going to pinch it closed with my fingers. And I have both ends of the wire through that crimp tube, and I'm going to pull on the longer piece because I don't need the tail quite that long. And you want to separate those wires, make sure they're not crossed under that crimp tube. I'm going to go in with my crimping pliers into that second divot, give it a good smash, get that taco shape, turn it on its side. Give it another smash, and then go in with that flat part at the end. Give it the final smash. And it's nice and snug. I'm going to take the crimp cover and put it right on top of that smashed crimp tube. And then I'm going to flip it up. Go in with my chain nose pliers, give it a smash, gentle smash. And then I'm going to go front to back on that crimp cover and give it that round, just like that. And there's how we start each strand, and now it's just the order of the beads. We have a 4mm rondelle, 3mm spacer, and a 6mm pearl. Push it down. And the next few beads, I have another spacer, and then I have 2 of the smaller flower bead caps with one of my gemstones. I'll push it down, looks like that. And I'm going to do this set right here 2 more times. All right, here it is. So here is the next set, darker gemstone, 3mm spacer, and the larger bead caps. Just like that. All right, so here is one side, and now we're gonna do the center part. All right, and here is the center component. They are all small beads. I have 2 4mm pearls on the outside, 2 3mm spacers, and then the 4mm rondelle. And right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the pendant. As you can see, if I hold the bead still, this slides over that center part very freely. So, oh, that's just so pretty. All right, so now I'm gonna put this exact same setup on the other side. All right, and here is the strand. So now we need to close it off. I'm going to put on a crimp tube, a jump ring, and a wire guardian. I'm gonna put it through one side and wrap it around and put it through the other side. All right, and with the jump ring inside the wire guardian, I'm gonna go ahead and pinch it closed with my fingers. And I have both sides of that wire through the crimp tube. Now I'm gonna pull it down. And I'm gonna put that tail through the first couple of beads. Just like that. And here's where you have to have balance, because you really need to pull that tail very snug, but you also want your strand to have flexibility, so you want to move it and make sure it can move, but you definitely want it to be snug. And now I'm going to go in with my crimping pliers into that second divot. Give it a good smash. Get that taco shape. Turn it on its side into the first divot. Give it another smash. And then I'm going to go in with that flat part on the end and give it the final smash. And I'm going to hold it here on the end like this, take that crimp cover and put it right on top of that smashed crimp tube, just like that. And then flip it up, and I'm going to go in with my chain nose pliers and give it a gentle smash. And I'm going to go front to back. I know this one's hard to see. On that crimp cover, make sure it has that round shape, just like that. And with that tail, I'm going to take my cutters and get as close as I can. Okay, typically I push the nub into the next bead, but this one just kind of fell in. Kind of nice. So here is the focal strand, and I just love the neutral colors in this. This is so pretty. And I have already made the shorter strand. Here it is. And it is started and closed off the same way. I just used a lot of the smaller beads with that one kind of focal bead there in the center. And the way I usually measure my multi-strand necklaces so that they hang the right way, I usually try to have about an inch or so in between both strands. So if you just look at the beads there of the smaller one, starting right here, it's just over 6 inches. And if you take into account the wire guardian, it's about 6.5 inches on this longer strand. And this shorter strand here, if you just look at the beads, it's just over 5 inches. And then of course, if you take into account the wire guardians, it's about 5.5 inches. All right, so now we're gonna put everything together. So I'm using these very thick gauge jump rings here, and that's what it's going to be on either side. Okay, so I'm going to open this, and I'm going to put the jump rings that are already on each strand of the necklace, just like that. And while that is open, I'm going to put on the last link in the chain, just like that. And close it. And now I'm taking a 4mm jump ring, open it, and I'm going to put it on the other last link, just like that. And while that's open, I'm gonna get my lobster clasp and close it. All right, and I'm gonna put the other side of the chain on the same way, except I'm gonna end it with a 5mm jump ring instead of a lobster clasp. All right, so here it is, and I'm going to connect it just like that. And one change I did make, I want to go ahead and point it out. At the end of each strand, I went ahead and took off those 4mm jump rings and just connected the larger jump rings straight through the wire guardians. I wasn't liking the way that that fell, and I just think this looks better. All right, so here it is. Here is the piece. I'm gonna hang it up on my display so we can see it better. All right, so here it is, and I just love it. I really think this necklace it just speaks to me. I love the neutral tones. That pendant, in my opinion, is absolutely beautiful, and I think it goes really well with the gemstones and the pearls. So once again, if you are interested in the treasure bags, I will have the information in the description box below, and you definitely want to get signed up on her notification list. Once her treasure bags go for sale, they sell out very, very quickly. But not only that, she also has a really wonderful website that you can look at as well. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. I would love to hear your opinions on this necklace. I love reading my comments. You guys are so kind, and I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.